Tomorrow is the start of the 16 days of activism for no violence against women and children. Now, the purpose of the campaign is to attract all South Africans to be active participants in eradicating violence against women and children. South Africa adopted the campaign in 1998 as one of the strategies towards creating a society free of violence. Now, to talk more about the campaign, we are now joined in studio by Major General Tebello Mosekili, and she's from the South African Police Services, and we also have the national head of the family violence, child protection and sexual offences investigation unit, and also Mpumi Mndaweni from the National Children and Violence Trust. And you at home can be part of our conversation by giving us a call on 011-447-1742 or 1620. We're taking your comments on our Facebook as well as our Twitter pages. Okay, good morning to you ladies, and thanks for joining us.
Morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, now, so the theme for this year is Count Me In. In terms of like yourself, Mpumi Mndaweni from the National Children and Violence Trust, what does that theme really speaks to?
It actually means that it's every South African's responsibility to be counted in and to make sure that no violence or abuse falls upon a child or a woman. So we all have the responsibility to stand up, be counted, and do something about the gender-based violence. So it's not just social workers that need to do the work.
Now, in terms of the role of the South African Police Services in answering to that call of being counted in, what does it speak to, and how do you respond to that?
Thank you very much, and thanks to the invitation. Our role as the South African Police Service, in particular the Child Protection, Sexual Offences and Family Violence Unit, is to ensure that we intensify the education, we intensify the awareness, and we call upon the communities to work together with us to end the violence against women and children. We are inundated with the number of incidents and cases that are coming our way, and we believe that we cannot do it alone. We need everybody around to through education, to say this cannot be the thing that it's continuing the way it is continuing.
We've seen a lot of, this especially unprecedented, deaths of children, kidnapping across the country, and the numbers have just been picking in alarming rates. What would you say are the reasons behind that, how things have turned out?
I think it's the number of social problems that we have that are not being attended to. So if you look at the number of children that are being abused and their cases are not being reported, it's not things that are only happening now, it's things that have been happening and no one has been doing anything about it. So we're finding that the crimes being committed against children are becoming more and more and more, up to the point where they're now becoming visible. It was things that were happening behind closed doors, where parents would feel like, okay, so just possibly disciplining my child to an extent where the child is hurt is not something that is serious. But we're getting more of those cases, and parents getting to the extreme of actually killing their own children, or children being hurt or killed within the communities. So we're finding out that now people are more vocal. So if they see abuse happening next door, they're now more inclined to report it, as in like before it was like it's normal, a parent is just disciplining their child. So I think people are more willing now to report their cases. So
I mean, looking at sort of like the statistics in terms of like the reports, we've also seen a spike on that. But the reality is that also the severity of the violence that we've seen is different from what has transpired over the years. In terms of like resolving some of those cases, what are some of the challenges?
Oh, a lot. As Mpumi has alluded to, the fact that some of the incidents will happen behind closed doors, and we see parents taking the responsibility or not taking the responsibility of ensuring the protection of the children, where we get to the issues of the children. And on the adult victims, we find victims, I cannot say being not trusting or they don't want to come forward, but there are a lot of factors that you will at the end of the day be labeled as this particular person, especially if you experience domestic abuse in the house. That how can I, there's that old belief that how can I take my dirty linen out to the communities and other people that thinks that I am living this kind of life. Now they can see that it is not as good as it was. But it is more disturbing when it's coming to the issues of children, where adults are the ones that are protecting and preventing the reporting of such cases. Even when, as Mpumi is saying, people are more aware, people are coming forward, people are reporting on behalf of especially where children are victims and some where adults are victims. But my issue is where children are victims, where parents are even
covering.
They're covering up
and protecting.
Another concern is the rise of child-on-child abuse. You work closely with children from the National Children and Violence Trust. Just talk to us briefly about that. Why is there a spike in that space?
We're seeing a lot of bullying, and in environments like squatter camps, environments where we look at Alexander, Diepsloot, Zandspruit, where it's informal settlements and there's no space. The parents are sharing probably a one-room shack, so there's no privacy. They're seeing parents getting intimate. So you'd find a lot of children playing out that in the school environment, where they'd rape each other or bully each other, things like that. So it's like I was saying before, a lot of our social problems that are not being tackled coming in, where the children are now acting out what they're seeing in the home environment, what they're seeing in the community, and they're bringing that into the school environment.